Hi, I'm Tran, and today we're going to learn how to design a simple garland just like this one using some basic oval shapes, a couple of leaves, and some accents. Let's get started. I'll be using a Hunt 101 nib on an oblique pen holder. This one here is by Michael Saul. A Stardust Jelly Roll pen. This is optional, but I really like the effect it has on my work. I'll also be using Dr. Martin's Bleed Proof White ink, a ruler, and some cardstock. So you can use any paper that you have or that you want to. You can use any ink, you can use any nib or pen holder. You can use a straight or an oblique, whatever you like. And if you don't have a ruler, you could just use a straight edge. So let's get started. Okay, so this is what we're going to learn how to design, and it's very simple, and I'll show you just how simple it is. I'm going to first demonstrate the different ovals that we're going to be drawing and the two leaves here. We have the pine leaf and the holly leaf. So let's first start with the ovals. The first kind of oval that we need to learn is called a direct oval. And a direct oval is essentially an oval that is made in a counterclockwise motion, and the shade of a direct oval is on the left side. So you can start here at the top, or you can begin from the bottom of the oval, still going in a counterclockwise motion. Again, the shade is on the left-hand side. Second oval that we need to learn is the indirect oval. For the indirect oval, the shade is going to be on the right hand side. And again, you can begin at the top or from the bottom. Just like that. Okay, so those are the 4 ways to draw the oval. Next, we're going to learn how to draw pine leaves. We begin with a curved stroke, either curving to the left or curving to the right. And then we will draw some hairline strokes. These are straight. And just pull them to the curve that you've already made. And then you turn your paper and draw more on the opposite side. And this length of your needles can be different too. So that will make for a more dynamic leaf. So you can start short and get longer and then get shorter again. Same thing on the opposite side. Okay. Or you can be the same length on one side and varying in length in the other side. Okay, so it really depends on the look and feel that you want for your leaves. So that is leaf number 2. And the fourth thing that we need to learn how to draw are the hollies. So just like the pine leaf here, we're going to begin with a curved stroke. And then we're going to add 3 curves on the left-hand side and 3 more on the right-hand side. And then if you want, you can add some veins in there. And you can make them a little bit more elongated if you like. Okay. Or you can make them have pointier sides. So many ways to make these leaves. It's really up to you what look you like. What look you like and what look you want on your design. So that's pretty much it. We just have our direct ovals, indirect ovals, our pine leaves, and hollies. Okay, so let's get a new sheet of paper and let's design our garland. Okay, so I'm going to begin with a blank sheet, and then I'm going to score a line right here. I like it off-centered. That way I can either write something here or just practice being off-centered. So you can draw the line or score the line with your fingernail. I just like to give it a quick score. That way I don't have to erase anything later. Okay, let me clean my pen real quick in case the ink has dried. Okay, so we're going to begin with two ovals. One is indirect and then it transitions into a direct oval. So we're going to make an 8 shape, a figure 8 right here. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'm going to do. And really when it comes to these flourishes, what you end up doing is you're really just layering these separate elements on top of each other. So we're going to begin with the skeletal part of the garland. So begin with a indirect oval and then a direct oval. So just a figure 8 really. Okay, next we're going to draw another oval underneath this bottom oval here. Okay, still a direct oval. I'm going to draw another one underneath that. I'm going to draw them the same sizes. Now you can experiment and try different sizes if you like. They don't have to be exactly the same, but roughly about the same size. Okay, so that is the main frame of our flourishing. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over because I'm going to begin on this top oval. So I'm going to go ahead and number them. This is oval number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's start with oval number 1. Okay, we're going to draw a larger oval beside this first oval. So you're going to begin inside this oval and just draw a larger oval outside of it. Turn your paper and draw a third oval here and a direct oval right beside this one, but smaller, maybe the same size as this first one. Okay, just like that. I'm going to turn my paper again. Now I'm going to take this hairline stroke and I'm going to continue this stroke to the left to draw another oval. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than that second oval. Okay. For this third oval here, I'm going to repeat the same thing I did for the first oval. So I'm going to draw a larger oval beside it. Okay, make sure you're giving these ovals some space to breathe. And turn your paper often. Okay. For this fourth oval, I'm going to do the same thing that I did to the second oval. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to flip this over here, flip it upside down, and I'm going to work on that fifth oval now. So for this one, I'm going to draw an oval here to the left of this one that's bigger. Okay. And notice that this oval and this oval are roughly parallel to each other. And then I'm going to draw a third shade here, a partial oval or a curve that's parallel to all three, these two, sorry. Okay, what that does, when I have those kinds of shades close together like that, it creates a ribbon effect. Okay, so I have these three close shades here. I'm going to draw two more shades beside this fourth oval to give it that same ribbon effect, just like I did over here. Okay, one, and maybe if I wanted to, I could continue it going that way, and two. Okay, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and draw a shade here while I'm already there. And then I'm going to draw another oval right here on this side. So what I can do is I can just continue this stroke, or you could draw a separate oval, it's up to you, just like that. Okay, so that is the basic flourishing structure of our garland. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my paper over again and begin here with this first set of ovals. So I'm going to start by adding the pine leaves now. So make sure that you begin with a curve, and you want your pine leaves to be different sizes. So I'm going to draw this one relatively large. Make sure that you're not touching that wet ink. Okay, so it's pretty big. I'm going to draw a smaller one here underneath it. Now what I could do is I can continue this curve out, or I can draw another one. I think I'll go ahead and just continue this curve. And notice that these two lines are not parallel to each other. So one's going this way and this one's veering out to the left a little bit more. And I'll just draw this one a little bit smaller. Okay. Next, I'm going to add a third pine leaf on this side here between these two shades. Turning my paper. Try not to touch this, all this wet ink here. Okay. So there, I've got my first set of 3 pine leaves here. I'm going to go ahead and draw a second set of pine leaves on my third oval. So I'm going to skip the second oval for now and work here on my third oval. I'm going to start with the left and then work my way out to the right. So I'm going to turn this curve into a pine leaf. Turn my paper, I'm going to draw one in here. And then one more between these two shades. Okay, I don't really like the length of this one, so I'm going to go ahead and just extend this stroke. Maybe add another one there to lengthen it a little bit. There, I like that a little bit better. Okay, so I've got one set here on the first oval and a second set here on the third oval. I'm going to go ahead and add another set here on the fifth oval. So I'm going to turn it over. Okay. And again, starting from left and working my way to the right, I'll draw one here inside this oval. Okay. Then I'll draw another one. I'll draw two down here. And again, it's important to make them different sizes. So one's there, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw another one down there. And the shape of my needles, or the size of my needles, depends on the space that I have to fill. So I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter here because I know that I've got another one here, another pine leaf just underneath it. So I'm looking at my ink, making sure that I'm not going to smudge it. Okay. All right, so now that I've got all my pine leaves in order, I can always add more later, but for now, this is what I want to go for because I want to leave room for the flourish to breathe, first of all, and second, I want to leave room for the other accents that I want to add. So the next thing that I'm going to add is the holly leaf. So notice that I'm just taking these elements and I'm adding them one at a time. So first I started with the ovals, and now I put a second layer, which is the pine leaf, and it looks like my ink is drying a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and clean off my ink and get some fresh ink on there so that I have good ink flow. Okay. Now I'm ready to add the holly leaves. So I'm going to start over here. I'm just going to pepper these in. I don't want too many of them, but you can add as many as you like. Okay, there's one. I don't know, maybe I'll add a second one. Why not? So you could just start to look for spaces that need filling. So here, there's nothing here, so I might want to draw one inside, or I could draw it popping out a little bit. I think I'm going to draw one inside just to fill that negative space a little bit. Okay, just one. Next, I definitely want to put one here, so I have this pattern going on. Plus, I feel like it needs one right there. Okay. then some here, here, here. I definitely want to put one here, either here or inside here. I'm not sure. Let's just go for this one. Okay. Again, you can always add more later. I'm going to go ahead and turn my paper. And I want to put one inside here. Let's put a couple in here. So turn your paper often. Okay, and you want to look at your design often too, turning it and seeing where you might need extra accent. So there's a lot of space here. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more hollies over here. And then maybe one more going in the opposite direction. Okay. All right, so that looks pretty okay to me. Now I'm going to add smaller fillers. So I'm going to turn my sheet like this. I feel like I need something here, so I'm going to go ahead and just add a little pearl or a little circle there. One side is shaded. And maybe another one here. Okay, another one maybe here or here. One here. One right here is good. Definitely one here in the center of my ribbon. And maybe one more right here. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Okay, and the final thing we want to add are the little dots. Okay, the little accent dots. Now, if you don't have a jelly roll, you can just use your pen. And you could just make dots with your pen. But I really like to use this, and let me show you how I do it. This is a tip that I learned from Heather Held, and this was something that she recommended in one of the classes that I took from her. So what I like to do with this, though, is I like to follow an existing curve. So I like to follow an existing curve, follow it, and then sort of venture off into my own thing. So here I have this curve already from the stem of the pine. So I'll go ahead and start along that line, but then just diverge into another curve, you know, that does its own thing. Okay, so I'm just going to pepper in these dots wherever I feel like I need to fill some kind of space. So there's a lot of open space here, so I'm going to go ahead and just add some dots that are playfully occupying space. And look at your paper often too. See where you need them. They don't need to be everywhere, but they just add extra volume to your work. Okay, so I'll just put maybe one more. They can overlap. So if you're using the Stardust pen, you can really just overlap the work that you already have. So I'm going to just put one more. Okay, And that's it. That is how you make a simple garland using a pointed pen and a jelly roll. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Good luck. Bye.